I'm a strength and conditioning coach. I've been in training for over a decade. I knew God was calling me to preach. I didn't want to because of the weight. And to be honest, I was afraid. And finally, about 2 years ago, I just said yes. And Pastor Corey and I had a conversation, and I was like, look, I just said yes to this calling. I want to dive into it. And I just looked at him and I said, can you help me?
I've been doing anything related to music as much as I can remember. One of my good friends from college, he was helping start the plant as well with Corey. And he was doing the sound. He was like, hey, we need a drummer. So I was like, I've been doing this all my life, might as well. But ever since that first day of just helping set up the mobile carts, I knew something was a little bit different. I was serving, but I felt like there was more that I was needing to do. And then through Corey and other pastors and also even my peers, started to really hear God reiterating that the call was more than just what I was doing on the drums, and it was a call to actual active ministry.
For the last 20 years of ministry, you could sum up my entire pastoral process as church revitalization. And it came with its blessings and its curses. There was, in the last years, a really frustrating portion of trying to revitalize churches. We moved to North Carolina in 2010, and that's really where I developed this passion that I was going to plant a church. It all kind of came together with one phone call where Pastor Corey called and said, hey, what are you doing? And I said, right at this point, nothing. And he said, well, why don't you come help us? We have a new church plant. We're meeting at Papa Rob's Ice Cream. And he said, I could really use your help. Why don't you just come hang out with us for 6 months? And 6 months led to 4 years to where we are today.
He said yes without hesitation. We had our crying moment and hugged it out. And from there, it was like, hey, we're gonna walk this together and see what happens and see what God has in store.
SoJo and Pastor Corey allowed it to be a safe environment once I started hearing that call in my ministry. And the way that they've supported in that was truly just that strong support. The belief system in that, this is something that I actually can do. And then even small little 5-minute little testimonial things that I've done and trying to be open in a space like that. Having all those nerves at the beginning, but then on the back end, getting all the support that I never thought would have been there.
Why I believe the Lord has brought me to SoJo and has kept me here for 4 years is really, I could sum it up like this. I've learned more in 4 years serving here at SoJo in this church plant than I have learned in 24 years of ministry. One of the things that I learned is it is okay not to be the lead guy. It's okay not to be the senior pastor. It's okay not to have that seat of prominence at the table. God has a place for you wherever you're at.
Being a part of a church that church plants has influenced me a lot more than I expected. When there was a time Pastor Corey brought it up, and I was like, okay, I'm a church plant. He's like, you think they'll be in your future? I don't see that. And I haven't told them this, so don't tell anybody. But over the time, especially through a lot of prayer, I really feel that God is leading me to that as well, into the church plant.
They've been extremely transparent. Pastor Corey is extremely honest and transparent with, hey, if another church comes and calls you out, praise God, that's what we want. But we have a vision here at SoJo, and we want to see churches multiply here. And so where do you fit into that big vision of what SoJo's doing? And if I had to nail it down, I would say I'm probably going to plant another SoJo church. If I'm going to throw it out there in the in the ether.
Stop fighting, say yes, and just take one step and find somebody who can help you take the next few.
What I would like to see happen is more churches getting involved in the life of their congregation to build up leaders, to build up and multiply more disciples, more leadership, more coaching, to take the initiative to say, we have people in here at any level that can be equipped, can be trained, can be encouraged, can be coached, can be loved on, and raised up to do the work of the ministry within the church and within the community. And it just takes a church just to say, hey, we got some really exciting people here, let's invest in them.